back at work, Bo.
Good to be working. You're less of a taskmaster than Jew, Bonnie. Now, let's find some more locks.
Good luck, and work quickly.
The mind can overcome any discomfort, sings the lamentation of this. Clearly, they didn't consider how an old Khajiit feels in the cold. Nazdar feels the damp in his bones. How could you stand it?
These old barrels smell like wine. Maybe brandy? Might have started as fresh fruit as long as they've been left here. Gone now, whatever it was. Shame. I could use a stiff drink right now.
Taznazi begs you to keep your voice down. She knows Kazda keeps no guards down here, but there might still be someone or something listening. We need to get to the courtyard. There's a way up at the other end of these dungeons, but Taznazi heard Kazda bought some special locks for the gates to keep any intruders out. Made from salvaged dwarven parts, Jubani had cobbled into locks, sold them to Kazda for quite a hefty sum, but Vol can get through them, and you'll be with him in case he needs support. It's safer for one or two to scout ahead while the rest wait in reserve. Attracts less attention, and should something go wrong, we will be free to support you. The three of us will catch up once you signal that the coast is clear.
There's the lock. Watch my back, won't you? One down. Let's get going. Might need an ebony pick for this one. You know the drill. bit stiff, that one. Glad I keep machine grease in my hair. Has done some redecorating, I see. Not sure I like it. Keep the coast clear, won't you? There. Hopefully that's the last of them. My fingers are getting sore. Hey, that's our way to the courtyard.
Keep up, old-timer. I made it and I can barely walk straight.
Gaze in wonder at the affirm, for their aches are the song of long life.
You can do it, Serene. It's just moving yourself and 4 other living people with one of the most complex spells known. It's not like you could, mix up people's arms or legs or anything.
Do not fear a dark passage, for from them it's easiest to see light. Nasdar is happy to see the way to the courtyard is just ahead.
Vol did good. You as well. Taznasi knew this would be the easiest part of the plan. Things get harder from here. We have the courtyard to deal with on the other side of the door. We've got to cross the courtyard. There are guards to worry about, and we'll have little cover for a group of our size. But Serene solves that problem for us. She can teleport us across. The guards will never even know we're there. Serene, it's your turn.
Everyone stand still. You're making me crazy. Just need to concentrate. Focus the power. Imagine the destination. All right, here we go.
What the...
So far, so good. Now, Vol.
You're sure?
To quote the barkeep, you look sick.
That's not good.
This one prefers his feet.
Thought I lost you.
And Burido, waking from the dream, kissed the earth until his mouth was full of mud. The scrolls of companionship, moon passage. Nasdar channels Burido at this moment, though his back feels nice and loose.
Moons, you're not hurt, are you? All your limbs in place? And Nasdar's looking pretty good, actually. Now the not good. You and Nasdar didn't quite make it to where I intended, and it will be a while before I can cast something like that again. You'll have to make your own way here. There is a basic rule of spellcraft. Do not attempt while drunk, or while recently drunk. Never been great with rules. I ended up losing control of the spell while attempting to teleport you and Nasdar. Sorry about that. Taznasi wants you and Nasdar to make your way to the base of the South Tower. That's where we're waiting. She also was very insistent. Avoid killing any of the guards. She says it will raise alarms, but I know the truth. It's because Taznazi used to run with them. They were all part of Dashing Dasalso's crew back in the day. She tries to act like she doesn't care about them after they exiled her, but it's a lie. Northwest? East-ish? You have to come through the courtyard, which means avoiding patrols. Don't get caught. Taznas is going to be pretty upset if you kill anyone.
Nazdar advises patience. We can avoid the sentries if we are calm. Heed the tenets of the Whispering Claw, and no one will pay you any more mind than they would a lark's shadow. The words of Nazdar's master, the venerable Peludar. At his age, Nazdar's aches are like raindrops. Whether they come as a drizzle or a flood, they are too numerous to count. If something is missing, he has not noticed. Walk softly, Master Hendo taught me. If we get into trouble, be warned. I cannot help. My fists are weapons no longer. Soft as a whisper, quick as a shout. The first finger of the Whispering Claw teaches. As the second finger of the Whispering Claw says, shadows consume curiosity, time, and interest. Heed the third finger of the Whispering Claw. Distance is greater than any weapon. The fourth finger of the Whispering Claw states, command the space to move through it unseen. The final finger of the Whispering Claw states, the claw that passes as a whisper is the mark of the master.
You made it, both of you. Taznazi is glad.
Sorry about that. When this is all done, I'll buy you a drink.
Moon's mercy, Serene. When we're done here, I will smash every bottle of wine in elsewhere.
Not if I drink them first.
Nazdar, you're our way into this tower. Ready?
The ascent of the body is nothing compared to that of the soul. Saint Yosito spoke wisely.
Upstaged by a grey-maned grandpa. Next time I'll have to pick locks blindfolded and with my teeth.
Taznazi admits she was not certain the Old One still had it in him. You should have seen Nazdar before age caught his tail. We should get inside before anyone notices our presence.
Sorry, I thought I was going to vomit again. First, Nazdar, did I miss something?
Your knees shouldn't make that noise, right?
They should make no noise, Vol.
I'm no healer, but even I can tell Nuzdar's really ground his gears this time. Maybe lost a few bearings while he was at it. The body's not so different from a machine when you think about it. I can patch him up, I'm sure of it. Yes? I mean, yes. Just need to lubricate the joints, I figure. This won't be a problem. Besides, it's not like I don't understand Khajiit anatomy. The Green Pact fought some deserters in Reaper's March a few years back. Anyway, now's not the time to talk about food. I have work to do. I'm no healer, but even I can...
No rest, wrote the ascetic Vulado, is sweeter than one following great exertion. Nazdar thinks perhaps he did not stretch properly before his climb. He is no longer the... Nazdar's knees tried to tell him he was no longer able to prance like a kitten, but he did not heed them. They are angry with him now. They are only sprains. Aches. Can and should, wrote Rid Tharidata, and knowing the difference between them is the cornerstone of wisdom. With Vol's ministrations, Nazdar will be back to his former self in an hour, perhaps more. Do not worry for him.
Taznazi's gotten tense. More tense than usual. Things could have gone smoother so far, sure, but she's not one to get rattled.
Nazdar did well to get us inside, but it looks like this strain was more than he could handle. He needs rest, which means Taznazi needs to change her plans. Vol is the closest thing we have to a healer. He might be able to get Nazdar moving again, but he needs time, which means he won't be able to pick the locks on Kazda's vaults. Taznazi wants you and Serene to get the vault keys. This one has other business in the palace. When she's done with it, she will meet you at the entrance to the vault, on the lower floors. Taznazi has always said she was innocent of the Salzo's death, and she knows in her heart that Kazda was behind it. She must have proof, not to show the stitches, but to quiet her own soul. She needs that more than her share of the gold. Take care getting the keys. The thugs in this palace are Kazda's most loyal, and just as vicious and cruel as he. Expect no mercy and give none. Serene will help keep things quiet in case fighting breaks out. That was different. Many of the keep's guards were close to the Salzo. They follow Kazda only because they must. The lapdogs in this palace are loyal to Kazda alone. The ones who are closest to Kazda do not show loyalty because they are virtuous, but because he allows them to indulge their worst impulses. I am not telling you to punish them, only that they won't be missed by anyone in the stitches. Yes, Taznazi has gotten used to being on her own ever since the Salzo died. She knows this place like the back of her paw. She'll be fine. Nazdar has to stay behind. He's in no condition to creep through the palace right now. Hopefully Vol can get him back on his feet in time for an expedient departure. As long as they stay back in this old storeroom, they should be fine.
Well, better I'm paired up with you than the ancient adept or the smarmy wood elf. You look like you can handle a scuffle. I'm only good at knocking myself out with a bottle, but I know a spell or two to muffle the noise of the brawl. You know how many bar brawls I have to try to sleep through in the stitches? Trust me, I know I can cast that one drunk. Now, if there were only a spell to protect from rude awakenings involving buckets. They'll be Vis's lieutenants, I'll bet. They come to the Goiter's Gulp every few nights, get drunk and blather on about how much the boss trusts them and lets them get away with murder. Literally. They're bound to be in the palace. Somewhere. Well, better I'm paired up with Yuzen.
I'm no healer, but even I can tell Nuzdar's really grounded. We'll be fine. If Taznasi says the guards don't come back here, I'll trust her. She knew this place like it was the house she grew up in. Which, I suppose it was. Back when Dashing DeSalzo still ran things.
No rest, wrote the ascetic Vulado, is sweeter than one following great exertion.
Take care getting the key.
There you are. He's got her. He's got her.
Keep it down. What are you talking about?
Kazda, he and his bodyguard, biggest I've ever seen. They cornered Tasnasi and took her back there. You have to save her.
If Nazdar's body did not protest, if he had been a few years younger, she would not be in such danger. Forgive him. Please, find Tasnasi. Vol and I heard voices. We hid as they grew close. It was two of Kazda's guards, gloating about Tasnasi's capture. Tasnasi had been found looking through records, books. Kazda caught her in the act. Nazdar does not understand. Books were not the riches she said she sought. What wealth there is in knowledge cannot be measured in coin, as Ulu said, perhaps.
You have to free Tasnasi. Kazda's gonna kill her. Deeper into the palace, the room carved into the rock. I popped the lock, but Kazda's enforcer is with him. Never seen a minotaur that big. Cud, that's what Kazda calls him. Had him since he took over the stitches, but I don't know his story. Not exactly the talkative type, always chewing something. If it comes down to it, I'd fight dirty. Cud's all muscle, I'll bet.
If Tasnasi's been taken, it won't be long before Kazda kills her. You're the only ones that can do something about it. Vol and I are no good in a fight, and Nazdar looks like he'd get blown over by a gentle breeze. You're the best bet we have of getting in, getting Tasnasi, and getting out. Don't worry about us. We'll find our own way out of the keep.
If Nazdar's body did not
naive, Tasnasi. You and the Salso both so focused on the future that you never could see the knife behind you. You have one friend left in this world, it seems. Not for much longer. Cut! You'll regret crossing Kazda!
After him!
Please, Tasnasi, spare me!
Shut up, Kazda! One more word from your lying tongue and Tasnazi will claw it out! He did it. Everything Tasnazi suspected him of. He killed the Salzo. He had her take the blame. He was proud of it. Now that I have my claws at his throat, he discovers the meaning of mercy. He took this one's home from her, the only one she has known, and he couldn't give it back if he wanted to. She has no proof but his word. Even if he confessed and cleared her name, the stitches she would return to is not the one she left behind. One joy is left to Tasnazi, to kill Kazda. Then she leaves this all behind her, for good. The Salzo is dead. Everyone Tasnazi has ever known turned their back on her. The stitches are in shambles. Why would this one ever want to return to such a place? You are right. Tasnazi has tried to forget, tried to move on. Not a night goes by that she doesn't dream of times past. She knows what must be done. Tasnazi will make this one face the justice of the stitches. Wait for her at the tavern in town. Tasnazi will only make this offer once. Confess to the stitches for all you have done, and she will not try out your torture devices for herself.
Tasnasi, you win!
Get up. All the stitches will hear the truth from your lips before the day is done.
just slew that slab of beef cud. You bring me, honey. Really worked up an appetite on that job.
There you are. Vol managed to swipe a bottle of Oleander Reserve from the Avernos. It was delicious. There's something else to drink around here, I'm sure.
To defer celebration without necessity is perhaps the most grievous sin. Hokey the Festive knew the truth when he spoke it. With so many uncertainties in life, we should celebrate when we have reason. And what better reason have we than this?
My friend. No, more than that. Family. Kazda's deeds have been made known to the Stitches. Taznazi's name is cleared. For now, at least, there is something to drink to. Or, in Serene's case, something else to drink to. Now Taznazi is home, and you enjoy her hospitality. Raise a mug, kick up your feet, and count your coin. There is much to be done to fix the damage Kazda did, but that is for Taznazi to worry about. Your work is done, even if hers is just beginning. Strange as it seems, Taznazi is not only forgiven in the Stitches, she is looked up to. It will take time for the Stitches to be as it was. Maybe it will never get there, but even if she cannot live up to Dashing the Salzo's legacy, Taznazi will try. So much as anyone can be in charge of the Stitches. With Kazda in exile, there's hope of going back to how it was, how Dashing the Salzo saw it. They have not entirely forgotten him, or Taznazi. She'll do her part. We all will. The job is done. Their lives are their own. But Taznazi wants to make life better in the Stitches, and she will need help to do so. She could use them, Vol's tinkering, Serene's magic, Nazdar's wisdom, if they will offer it.
we didn't get into the vault. Normally I'd call the job a wash, but it seems like Tasnasy owns the vault now, so I guess you could say the job was a success. Funny how things work out. Well, we didn't get into the...
Strange as it seems, Tasnazi is not only forgiven in the stitches, she's...
Do not mistake a righted wrong for an undone wrong, I believe is the mantra of Gautfang Master Junri. Nazdar is glad to know Tasnasi's name is restored, but perhaps gladder to know she faced this tragedy and overcame it.
Company of those Avernus brothers are there. It's like a couple more every time I look over. I swear they are multiplying.
Careful where you flaunt your wealth, Walker. You are a tempting prize indeed. You cut a striking figure, Walker. There are many dangers to such an enviable personage in the Stitches. All of Elsewhere, in fact, if you cast a shadow long enough. Hear this one, and he will tell you how to grease the right palms to pass unmolested. Just so, sleek one, just so. You walk tall, with the heavy footfalls that signify an abundance of pride and gold. Unless you wish to keep low and beneath notice, like humbles the hum, there is a price to be paid, willingly or not. Of course, Five Claw, of course! All the more reason to fear crossing the purring liar on the road. The thief god delights in stealing pride even more than riches. Better to make a friend of Rajin first by acquiring him an offering or three. Start your pilgrimage here with the ledger from the Goiter's Gulp. An idol from Riemann would make a nice addition to this temple. Ah, and fine silks from the merchants at the Valenwood Gate. Yes. Are idols and vestments not fitting offerings for a temple to Rajin? But you wonder why these particular items, and not just anything, will do. It is because these things belong to those Rajin approves of robbing. Rajin's sleek shadow! You steal away moments of my life with a skill to rival the thief himself! Have you met a merchant, a priest, or a fence whose wealth could not stand to be humbled? Neither has the god of footpaths. Besides this one, of course. If you have not heard of Rajin, it is because he has stolen his name from your ears. Listen then, and pray he does not rob you further. The purring liar is the cleverest of Khajiit, and we are a clever lot. His stories are more plentiful than sand. Rajin is swift, sleek, and silver-tongued. What is there not to admire? But this one will lend you a secret. Rajin is the most beloved of gods because he was not always so blessed. Rajin was once a Khajiit like this one, though much larger and worthy of note, but so skilled a thief was he, that not even divinity was out of his reach. Khajiit who hear tales of the one who purloined godhood aspire to follow in his footsteps. Do you think you are above such work? Oh, Walker, do not invite Rajin's ire by looking down upon his deeds. If you do, he will surely play you for a fool and add your folly to his 1,000 tales. Craftiness is a noble art. Follow his example. If it were permitted, it wouldn't be theft. But just because it's illegal doesn't make it unworthy of veneration. Do you not cheer the gladiator because the law says not to strike another? Alas, no arena celebrates the clever thief.
Face your wager, raise the stakes, build the power from your drakes, draw your fortune toss. Well, risk it all, you'll have your hand. And if you wind up on the street that used to live like Murchащего. I see, my friend, that you have fun, but you're short of luck. That hand was hard to read. And if you find you're feeling cross about this tragic loss, there's a cause for your...
Start your pilgrimage here with the ledger from the Goiter's Gulp. An idol from Rimen would make a nice addition to this temple. Ah, and fine silks from the merchants at the Valenwood Gate. Yes.
More discreet. Take a gamble, oops, you're done. Now you're broke, and tail and run. Make the sin most well wrong. Snouts and owls galore. Next time your man is on receipt, seconds to cry.
Know you? At least I think I know you. My memory is a little hazy on anything past the last few days. You run that thing with Taznasi and me. You did that job with us. No, I'm not. Taznasi made me swear to lay off the drink for a while. It's awful. Well, maybe not as awful as I thought it'd be. This place is almost tolerable now that she's in charge. Gives me a few less reasons to reach for a bottle. It means I've got a headache, but I don't know. I was in a bad way before you doused me with that bucket, and I really botched things at the keep. Taznasi's cleaning up the mess Kazda made. She doesn't need mine, too. Yeah, well, we'll see. The more I remember, the harder it gets. There are a few things I'd rather not forget. Maybe that's enough.
A friend is the only gift that brings joy when returned. Or so the Bandari saying goes. Nazdar has never had much to give besides his friendship, but he can attest it is joy he feels seeing you here again. Nazdar has everything he needs: good health, good friends, and music in his heart. When he looks upon the stitches now, he is inspired. He sees dashing de Salzo's dream coming to life, and the notes flow as vigorously as his blood. He knows his playing is not welcomed by all, but Tasnasi has forbidden the others from throwing things at Nazdar, so long as he does not sing. As the amicable Jazir once said, compromise is cousin to happiness. A friend is the only...
I don't sell the drink. Browse all you want.
Jode, Denima, Ta.
Soldiers come from foreign shores to join us in our dreadful war, taking stride by the warrior's side and prepare for battle. Crimson beast newly bestows a horn to defeat his vile foe. Its great forces fused to grow. Victory seems so close now. The warrior makes one last stand against the dreaded demon. Chains and spells bind the demon tight, locking it away in darkness. Soldiers celebrate a new dawn's light, and peace reigns once more. And peace reigns once more. Dancing through savannah grass, on light feet we glide. Hey, hey, Bandari boy, take your heels in stride. Hey, hey, Bandari girl, swing your tail inside. Valvijavaru, Bandari, carrying our golden flags. Valvijavaru, Bandari, our kingdom on our backs. Armies on the move again, on wagon wheels we go. Hey, hey, Bandari boy, where the wild winds blow. Hey, hey, Bandari girl, our caravan will go. Good!
Yeah!
Concerned about feet.
Worried about the quick claws of the city? Oh, the Kashid?
The Khajiit say that Azura was the one who gave them shape.
Ever been to Valenwood, friend? It's like elsewhere, except better.
Maybe it's the wood elf in me, but I really do prefer working outside. The one nice thing about working with Jew Bonnie is not having to skulk about dwarven ruins for scrap. Patching things up is my job. I told her I'd get Tasnasi to overlook that old kidnapping for indentured servitude business for a mere tripling of my rate. Jew Bonnie may be a cutthroat business partner, but she's my best source of work. All thanks to you. If you hadn't come around, I'd be locked in a cellar for the rest of my days, and Kaz'd'd still be running this town into the ground. You helping Tasnasi clear a name really turned things around for the Stitches. Yeah, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a friend. She's got a knack for leadership. Maybe she's not as charming as DeSalzo was, but I think she's got more of an head for planning. In a year, this will be the new Warcrest. Watch and see.
Yeah! Yeah! You cut a striking figure, Walker. There are... you again. How goes your holy work? Then the King of Thieves was watching over you! Let's see. Yes, this will do. Yes. Fine offerings for Rajin. Do not forget yourself when dividing spoils, or Rajin will think you a fool. Good thieves always take their cut. I bless you in the name of the sleek shadow! Fortune and fame are yours for the taking! Is Rajin a god? Do gods not have those who spread word of their deeds? This one is but a humble servant to a more deserving master. Of course, sleek one. This one does not need a temple to bend his god's ear. He will gladly ask for Rajin's favor on your behalf for a humble offering. Or perhaps you wish to hear a sermon. This one can provide objects of faith as well. Come closer, Walker. And this one will regale you with a tale of Rajin. Long ago, on a night of new moons, the dark was so thick that shadows stretched to oblivion. No one dared to brave the night, but one crafty thief. He chose to walk the strands. Just so. On this night, they stretched through the lunar lattice and led the thief toward the faint glimmer of the stars, except the dancing lights were not the stars, but twilight caught in a realm of spun silver. Within, silky voices argued. 3 princes, clothed in shadows, each claiming dominion of the night. The thief drew closer, stepping along the web where the light had not been caught, and listened to their debate. As he crept unnoticed, the clever thief made a plan. He waited, patiently, quietly, as the princess talked in circles, learning all he could. Then, when the time was right, he stepped out from the shadows and announced himself. This one knows the night like no other. He would be honored to choose. Risky for certain. 2 princes, sisters he could see, regarded the thief coolly. But the spinner of the silver web looked upon him hungrily. You are a light touch, little fly, but foolish to come buzzing into the spider's web. Seeing now that the thief was one of her chosen people, the Prince Azura stayed Mafala's hand. By your admission, this one knows the night better than any other. Who better to decide? Or do you fear the truth will be too ugly? All 3 princes agreed that the thief was a most worthy lover of the night. And each told him why they were obviously the best choice. When all was said and done, the thief knew his decision. Knowing she was as vain as she was dangerous, the thief approached Mafala and heaped on her great flattery. My prince, it was the night itself that led this lover to his mistress, so that he could steal a kiss. And so the thief embraced the night. And more so, the thief deftly ran his hands about Mafala, brrring sweet nothings in her ear, until his fingers touched upon the thing that really caught his eye, a ring on the finger of her 8th arm. Slipped it from her finger without the slightest notice. Such was the lightness of his caress and the skill of his tongue, and placed it on his own. With that, the thief vanished, and the legend of Rajin, the purring liar, was born. What else may this humble servant of Rajin do for the faithful? King of thieves! One of your faithful seeks your favor. This one humbly begs you spare a fraction of your ample sleekness for their benefit. Ah! There is a fresh glow about you. You are nearly as dashing Dasalzo once was. Rajin, your faithful hopes to follow your noble example. Lend them one of your many shadows, so they may stay shady even in the hot desert sun. Yes, this one thinks you must feel cooler already under the protective wing of the... Ha ha! You jest! Rajin is the saint of subtlety. You will only ever know his presence if that is his desire. But he is always there, an unseen shadow. Trust Zaham. You are in the thief god's good graces. I bless you in the name of this... Of course, Sneak One. This one does not need a temple to bend his god's ear. Come closer, Walker.
Taznazi knows the Stitches isn't home to you as such, but she's glad to see you visit now and again. She wants you to see it for what it once was, not as you saw it the first time. Keeping the peace among this rogues gallery is no easy thing. Some days Taznazi almost misses the quiet solitude of exile, but every day she sees the Stitches get a little closer to the Salzo's dream of a safe haven for those who would live free. The Salzo had many friends, not just in the Stitches, but all throughout elsewhere. Taznazi has sent word to each of them bearing condolences and the truth of Kazda's betrayal. He'll spend the rest of his days outcast and on the run. Once the tables turned on Kazda, his underlings scattered like rats. Those who were loyal to the Salzo are glad to see them go. Aside from Jubani's complaining and the Averno's wandering hands, Taznazi has nothing to fear. So far, Taznazi is up to the challenge, but if she finds herself in need of a helping hand, you can be certain she will reach out to you. For now, all Taznazi asks of you is that you make yourself at home.
Tarn sent Samarak to assist you against the Euraxian officers Saulinia and her assassins. The locals say that a group matching their description passed through here a short time ago. Tarn explained that we seek a hidden Akaviri shrine. Saulinia, the assassin who murdered King Hemakar and Queen Numara. Samarak heard that name often on the day of Euraxia's coup. Perhaps this one can finally get justice for the royal family. No. Samarak was guarding Kamira that day. We were far from the palace. Anyway, this one learned that the local crime lord provided Saulinia with guides who know the scar well. We must hurry if we hope to catch them. The scar can be a treacherous place, Five Claw, even without the addition of a Nibinese assassination squad. We need to hurry, but we should also proceed with caution. Truthfully, Samarak almost refused when Tharn gave the order. This one has only just reclaimed the mantle of King's Claw and was reluctant to leave Queen Kamira's side. But you needed help, and Samarak was best suited to aid you in this endeavor. Yes, but Samarak isn't sure if anything good will come of their meeting. When this one departed, Queen Kamira and Lord Gareshri were engaged in a heated discussion with Tharn over the risks and benefits of trusting an Imperial. The scar was carved across the face of an Equina in the ancient past. Some say Kunzari is responsible. Others that Alkosh himself marked the land with his claws. Things live in the deepest cracks and crevices that we would do well to avoid. King Hemakar saw something in Samarak. He specifically requested this one during a visit to the Desert Wind. Samarak set aside his studies and devotions to become the King's Claw. I pledged my life to keep the royal family safe. No. Kamira wanted to visit the Desert Wind Adeptorium. This one was tasked to guard her. So, Samarak was not in the palace when Euraxia and her troops arrived. They were welcomed as emissaries of the Emperor. But they were lions about to pounce. A small success in an avalanche of failure. Guilt consumed Samarak because he lived and the royal family died. So this one exiled himself from the land he loved and traveled the world. This one sought... what? Peace. Forgiveness. Something. The scar can be a treacherous place, Five Claw, even without the addition. You have something else to do? Very well. Zamarak will wait for you to return. Wait, that body. It's one of the assassins. They must have passed this way. More bodies. The hired guides. Saulinia's work, Zamarak thinks. The guides from the Stitches. We must be close. Saulinia had them killed because she no longer needed them, and she wanted to keep whatever secrets they learned along the way. The hidden Akaviri shrine must be nearby. Hurry, but be cautious. Look, there is a door behind these stones. Is this the place we seek? This place. This must be the entrance to the hidden Akaviri shrine. Zamarak just hopes we have arrived in time to save the Dragon Guard from the assassin's blades. Zamorak smells freshly polished armor among the lingering scents of dust and decay. Saulinia and her soldiers are here. If we hunt in silence, we may take them by surprise.